Hi, today I want to share with you my journey in AI product design. A story about transformation, challenges, and adaptation in the face of the generative AI revolution. But first, a little bit about me. I'm a product designer working at Tuplux. I am a podcast host, Product Design, where I ramble about design and tech, and a mentor in design mentorship program. And you can drop by on my X account and say hi there also. So today we'll kick off a story of my first project in Gen AI product field. Then I'll show you how AI affected and, spoiler, pretty much drastically changed how I work. And last but not least, I tell you about a strategy I use to better adapt to such changes. So let's begin. As you may recall, I work at Tuplux, and my adventure there started right before the generative AI took the world by storm, right in the end of 2022. And lucky for me, Tuplux was already well-established AI product agency back then, employing a lot of ML engineers and researchers, having an AI product portfolio. So that was where I found myself. I couldn't have been more thrilled. The first project that came my way was an AI chatbot for a fashion e-commerce platform. The goal of the project was to explore how AI could enhance user experience beyond just being a trendy addition. We knew we didn't just want to deliver basic AI chatbot. We wanted to deliver a great experience users would actually use. And we know that AI posed new challenges and risks, and we just didn't know what they were yet. So to work more efficiently, we formed two streams of work. One dedicated to research and other to ideation and prototyping. And I was on the research part. So apart from doing all the typical UX jobs, I started looking into all the products utilizing Gen AI that I could find. And the AI product landscape was quickly growing back then. But I can't really tell that the products were of the highest quality, mostly because the patterns weren't established yet, and most of those products were just quickly implemented packages for ChatGPT without much idea behind. They were mostly copywriting tools, but there were few exceptions, like AI implementation from Notion, introducing great prompting guides, or products from Diagram showing potential of human-AI collaboration, where AI could take what you did and iterate on it, on the design, or use your existing design system to work alongside you. Or a shop's implementation of AI chatbot, which was an inspiration for us, I can't lie. Also a reference point for our idea of how such AI should work. And I want to find out what made these products tick. So by documenting every detail, every feeling I had, I began to see patterns, understand the risks, and shape our approach to AI. And I created a list of risks that, after a couple of iterations, now looks like this. So we have hallucinations. So you're probably aware that Gen AI models can create untrue information, and they can really deliver them in a really trustworthy way. or bias. The data that the models are trained on can include bias already, so this poses a threat of reproducing harmful stereotypes and discrimination by those models. New agency. There's risks of thoughtlessly delegating complex decision making and reasoning to technology that only seems smart. And believe me when I say it, those models are not smart. They only see connections, but they don't understand us. Usefulness. I feel like a lot of products right now are made to have the label AI, but they don't really consider user needs in the process as much. They are technology based, so I'm a big believer in the usefulness approach. New mindset. The generative AI challenges the way we communicate and use digital products. So, for example, to communicate with Gen AI models, we use prompting, and we can't really assume that users know how to prompt successfully. So that's something we have to work on to make it easier for them. And finally, managing trust. People tend to trust everything that resembles a human. It's called anthropomorphization. Having other risks in mind, we need to manage their trust by, for example, informing them about AI or implementing features to mitigate the risks. But here's where the real change happened. The prototyping with generative AI. And in this project, the choice for prototyping tool was obvious. We use, of course, ChatGPT, and we use it to prompt behaviors, parameters, how many additional questions it would ask, or what data it needs to give an answer to the user, the tone of voice, etc. We could actually prototype every little detail of the experience. And because of that, we could quickly iterate and test solutions with real models. So suddenly, we were no longer just designers, we became prompt engineers, experimenting directly with AI models, shaping experiences in real time. And this shift wasn't just about learning new tools. It was about embracing a whole new mindset. So we were working in this process of constantly prototyping and improving the product, evaluating the prototypes with risks, and delivering outcomes and findings to ML engineers so they can improve on them and productize it. New challenges. The journey didn't stop there for me. Another project required us to venture into video generation, pushing my boundaries even further. Learning about diffusion models and navigating ComfUI. So my daily routine transformed completely. What you can see on those slides are the two examples of stable diffusion web UIs. On the left, automatic 1111, that is really powerful but limited in the things you can do actually. And on the right, the ComfUI, which is a node-based program where you actually program graphically all the workflow, so you can create anything you can imagine. And it can be easily translated by ML engineers into the product. So we went with that. I went from a designer familiar with Figma to someone who navigated terminals and were programming in a node-based environment. And my work started resembling an engineer work more than designers. It was daunting but exhilarating. So you can ask, why did I I said yes to this huge change, because adapting to change. To answer this question, let's define what product design actually is. The definition states that product design is the process of imagining, creating, and iterating products to solve users' problems or address specific needs in a given market. And while I agree with this definition, I feel like it's missing really important piece. I believe that product design is a process of connecting people and technology. And you can add business there for a good measure also. And if we follow this definition, the conclusion emerges. The product designer should be able to communicate in a field they're working at, should understand users and technology, and be able to connect them. So I didn't have any issues when the job required me learning ComfUI or any other tool for that matter. And this brings me to reflection that I wanted to share with you. This redefinition can be done on a personal level too. And it isn't as hard as it seems. So here's a simple guide to help you dive in. First, identify your constant. So begin by pinpointing what about you never changes. Understand the difference between the work you produce and the inherent value you carry. And it's often called your why, reason to be, ikigai. But this is crucial because I believe that we tend to overly identify with our work outputs and methods instead of our value. So, for example, I kicked off my career as a UI designer, and that was my entire identity. So if anyone approached me on a party and asks, "What do you do?" I'd probably say, "I'm a UI designer." But over time, I realized that drawing wasn't my be-all and end-all. And despite my talent, it didn't fulfill me. And if I stuck with UI, now Gen AI technology would pose big risks on my work, as there are already products that can generate UIs, as you can see on the example. Now, instead of feeling endangered, I feel excited, because my true passion lies in bringing technology and people. So generative AI is just another tool for me that promises even more opportunities. So now it's your turn to reflect. What's at the heart of what you do? So imagine a scenario that someone approaches you at the party and asks, "What do you do?" So firstly, let's start by answering based on your tasks. So for example, I would say, "I'm a product designer. I design products. That's what I do." Okay. Let's reimagine it once again, but now let's focus on the skill you have. So in my example, I would say, "I do user research, simplify complex issues, and design user-friendly interfaces." Okay? But let's now reimagine this situation even once more. But now I want you to look deep inside you for something that drove you to develop skills you have. Something that won't change in your life. And I know it can seem really hard, and it took a lot of time for me to realize what my core is. But right now I can comfortably say that I connect people with technology, and regardless of the technology type, is it AI, AR, the mobile design, web design, or vision pro design, no-code, product development, anything that really liberates me from doing any one kind of thing. So I invite you to reflect on your core. What drives you? How can you adapt and thrive in an ever-changing technological landscape? And remember, it's not about the specific tasks you do today. It's about the timeless value you bring to the table. So again, I'm Filip and I'm connecting people with technology. It was a pleasure talking to you today, and thank you.